The corona, I lost my kidney, my first kidney. 2018, August 24, I lost my fourth kidney transplant. I was very upset. I thought I did something wrong. And then I looked at myself and said, I didn't do anything wrong. God gave me the kidney, took away the kidney. He must have taken it away for good reason, and he did.
You've never seen a person more resilient than Yechiel Bruck. His life has been riddled with medical challenges, which has led to very dark moments. But his ability to keep going and never give up will move you. He's had 4 kidney transplants, 2 heart attacks, 2 mini strokes, and 1 septic shock in the heart. But his will to live a happy life persists. In this episode, you will hear how your points will get you paid with the PEYD Group. You will hear about the ear soup by Twillory, why every guy in shul is hocking me up about it. And you'll also hear why BitBean is able to take your business to the next level and help scale you up. This episode is in memory of Shimon David ben Yaakov Shleima, as well as Miriam Sarah bas Yaakov Moshe. Here we go. I'm Yaakov Langer, and you're listening to Inspiration for the Nation. Okay, Yechiel Bruck, thank you so much for coming in and doing this.
You're very welcome, Yaakov.
I'm honored because in your entire life, you haven't really publicly spoken about your life.
Yes, right. This is the first time I'm coming forward to speak publicly about my life.
Okay, so I'm very honored, a little nervous because oh my gosh, you're choosing here as a platform. But take us back to the beginning. Where were you born and what was your childhood like?
I was born in Israel in Shaare Tzedek Hospital. I was born in 1981, and I was born sick, hydronephrosis kidney problem. And right away when I was born, I did not urine. And because I did not urine, they noticed there's a problem right away. After a while, a very short time, they noticed that medically in Israel in the 1980s, they didn't have the knowledge to get what I needed. And they told my parents, in the early 80s, you have to go get a kidney transplant because or else the kid will not survive. And what happened was that my parents did a little bit of homework and they were recommended to come to the United States to try to find a kidney for me. In the early 80s, today in Israel, they have it much better. They have a lot of programs. In the 80s, they were just developing, people that were sick did not have any medical intervention correctly. So my parents came in 1982, 83, 84 about the United States. And then we started the process. And over the years, I had 4 kidney transplants. I'm a 2-time heart attack, 2 TIA in the brain, and 1 septic shock in the heart. And I'm a 4-time kidney transplant.
Wow.
And I struggle every day to stay alive. And I get up every day and I do Baruch Hashem fine. I try to build myself a life. Some kind of a life, whatever you could build in the medical terms, that's what I try to do.
At what age did you notice or realize that you had a lot more complications than the average person?
Early life, 5, 6, you know that you can't run in class like the regular kids. You cannot do like the regular kids. You cannot play basketball. You cannot play the regular games that they would play. You notice very fast you're handicapped. Also, you notice very fast you're sitting more in the hospitals to stay alive than you're playing in your classroom. And you notice very fast that you're not like the average kid. As a young kid, I was spending many hours in hospitals just to stay alive. And of course, people tell you a whole day that you're different and you don't understand the word different. But as an adult, you get to see the word different very clearly.
How has it been mentally for you to deal with everything that's going on?
You have up and down days. You have up and down days that mentally you're down, and some days you're up and running, and you're mentally funny and emotionally put together. And there were days that it was bad, especially when you're sitting in hospitals connected to IVs and you're connected to all kind of machines just to stay alive. It's very annoying. Not only it's annoying, you try to understand what did you do wrong, but you didn't do anything wrong. But it takes time for the brain to develop that it's not you the problem. It's just that's how God gave you the challenge. As an adult, you could see it clearly. As a child, it is impossible for you to understand. You struggle today, and you hope every day that will be better. But that's about it. But you're not going to get an answer that you're looking for. As an adult, you could start looking for an answer. It doesn't mean you'll get one in your life.
I'm just blown away. You have such a, I don't know if the word is mature, because I don't think that's the right word here, but like you have such an acceptance. I don't know if it's maybe a moon or betachan of like your situation, and you're just rolling.
I accepted the way I am in life. It took me many years to research and to accept the way it is. But over life, I think Kodesh Baruch Hu gave me certain answers that sit well in my stomach. Over the years, I went searching for answers in my own way of life. And I went to open Gemara Nevi'im Tovim to go see who was sick, what did they do wrong. And you notice very fast that Torah doesn't hold you accountable. And you find out that you didn't do anything wrong. And meaning, even if the Torah, if a person is sick, he has his rights. He's entitled to his rights, just like a healthy person. And after all, you learn very fast. As you speak to people also, they tell you it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You were born sick. Don't blame yourself, as we say. You know?
But you know what? I'm curious. What's your take on, because everyone has their own challenges in their life, their own peckle that, Hashem gave them. What do you feel like when you're in the supermarket and someone's complaining about like the dumbest thing?
I ignore them. There's nothing what to do. As a kid, I would walk around in the supermarkets or in the grocery, and the kid would tell me, here's the little idiot. And he can't walk normally, he can't talk normally, whatever it is. But in the end of the day, I ignore him because I understood very fast. He's a kid. He has a brain of a kid. He's not understanding. I don't have to come forward and explain it to the kid who's, I don't have to degrade myself to his level. He's a kid, which I do. His brain is very knowledgeable. Hopefully he'll grow up and he'll understand in his own head. I may have done a mistake when I looked at a person and I didn't understand the situation of him.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go back to the hospital stays when you're a kid. Do you have any stories surrounding that?
I have a lot of stories. What stories would you like here?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious to learn more about like the challenge of it, and maybe if there's any inspiring stories, nice stories that came along with it.
There's challenging that you have to get up and believe that tomorrow will be a better day. As you sit in the hospital, you have to know one thing very clearly. You're only here temporarily. You're not here forever. In every visit of my hospital, it's different. You get up in the morning, the doctors are different. Not only the doctors are different, the nurses are different. They try to encourage you and put positive into you and tell you tomorrow will be a better day. Tomorrow is a better day because you're not going to be connected to 15 to 20 IVs and blood pressure machine and a chest and your MRI and your CT scan. You're going to get up in the morning and you're going to go back to your real life. And in your real life, you have more challenges than in the hospital. Because in the hospital, they tend to take a lot of the responsibility. But on the street, when you're walking, you're responsible for yourself. You have to get up and you have to challenge life. To challenge life is much harder than to challenge a doctor or nurse who's telling you, well, now we got to go down to an MRI or CT scan or EKG, because that's only temporarily. Real life, you have to face reality. And you have to get up in the morning and get up and look into people's eyes every day and challenge it. That you cannot get away from the doctors and nurses. It's only 2-3 days and then you're out back on the street and you have to survive.
What was it like when you were younger and maybe as you got older, waiting for that kidney and then getting the kidney? Like, what was that experience like?
So again, waiting for kidney is very, very annoying. I'm waiting now for kidney number 5. I'm registered in 3 places, in 3 different hospitals. I'm registered and it's hard. I'm waiting 5.5 years. But when the phone call comes, it's like winning the lottery. It's you wait for the phone call like, you're waiting for the moment somebody will tell you won the lottery. The excitement is very big. You're very nervous. You're nervous on both sides. Will the surgery succeed, or will I go back to a life where I have to suffer on dialysis? But I can tell you one thing, that getting a kidney is good if the kidney works. If the kidney does not work, it's hell on earth. And anybody knows it. Anybody who had a kidney transplant will tell you. A kidney is amazing if it works. If it does not work, you suffer the gates of hell. It's just very bad. So the excitement is good that you want to go through the kidney transplant and change your life to a better life. But what happens when the kidney fails? You start to suffer. And you have to think of both sides of the coin. Because I had 4 kidney transplants already, my expectations of anything in life already is 2-sided, meaning I already know the ups and downs of everything. So I tell myself to do my start list, I have to do my effort to get the kidney. Will it work? I don't know. It's up to God. I can tell you a quick story that you're going to like. For example, during the corona, I lost my kidney, my first kidney, August 2018, August 24, I lost my fourth kidney transplant. I was very upset. I thought I did something wrong. And then I looked at myself and I said, I didn't do anything wrong. God gave me the kidney, took away the kidney. He must have taken it away for good reason. And he did, because those who would have looked at me would have said, God did you a favor. What is the favor? I'm going to explain you. Those who had kidney transplants during the corona were scared for their life. So why? As a person on a kidney transplant, as a corona, it would be a death sentence for the person. Why? Because when a person is on a kidney transplant, he is on a lot of immunosuppression medication, and his immune system in the body is 0. The smallest virus would kill him. And I had a couple of friends who were kidney transplant who I knew, they got corona. Within seconds, they were dead. They had no chance to even get to the hospital. And the reason is because the immune system of the body was killing them faster than they even knew. And that was a mistake that people did not understand. That, on one hand, it was very good that God took away my kidney, because all of a sudden, I did not die. I lived. I may have lost something valuable, but at the end of the day, I saved my life.
It's a good lesson for life. I think so many times, in quotes, bad things happen to us, but we're still alive.
Yes, because people have to sit and listen to themselves. Maybe it didn't go so bad when God took away what he gave you. He might have given you something for a short time to enjoy. When he took it away from you. Or else he could have taken away your life. And it didn't happen, because the minute I lost my kidney, I had full body immune system. And then any virus who tried to attack me did not catch me. During the corona, people died left and right of me, but I did not die. I'm sitting today in front of the podium and talking to people, and you're witnesses for that. So you should know in life that when God takes away something, his calculation is better than us. And you have to think about it. It's not a crime to sit at the table and to think, where did God go right and where did you as a human go wrong?
It's very powerful. Now, we'll be right back to our inspiring episode, but now it's time to fill your pocket with money you're sitting on without even realizing it. Sounds good to be true? Well, it's not. Many people, possibly even you, are collecting credit card points and miles, but not doing anything with them. Here's a tip: convert them into cash. Yes, cash, baby. Our friends at the PEYD Group will give you an instant cash quote on your credit card points or miles. Simply visit thepeydgroup.com. That's spelled TH, paid as in PEYD group.com. The link is in the show notes. And Penny and the awesome team at PEYD will run the numbers and make you an offer. Tens of thousands of people have turned their points and miles into top dollars. And I personally discovered a smooth $6,000 just sitting there. And best part is they did all the work for me. Let's be honest, I wouldn't have even gotten it out if I didn't reach out to PEYD. So now it's your turn. Again, visit thepeydgroup.com. PEYD is spelled PEYD, and fill out the short form. Be sure to tell them that your friend Yaakov Langer, depends how you want to refer to me, sent you because I'm awesome. Hopefully you agree. Cha-ching. You will be blown away by them. Go check them out. Now, I want you to experience the power of BitBean, the best software company for businesses seeking customer solutions. What sets BitBean apart is their ability to truly understand and cater to your specific needs, creating software that feels like it was made just for you. Imagine a modern day David facing Goliath, but instead of a sling, David has BitBean's cutting-edge software. Just like David's precision and faith led him to victory, BitBean equips businesses with the precise tools they need to overcome their unique challenges. Take the example of, we won't say who, a Jewish charity organization that needed a better way to manage donations, volunteers, and events. BitBean stepped in and built a custom platform that transformed their operations. The software allowed real-time donation tracking, seamless volunteer coordination, and insightful analytics. This meant the organization could focus more on their mission and less on administrative hassles. People love BitBean because they don't just provide software, they provide solutions that feel like they were crafted with you in mind. Whether you're running a large corporation or a community-focused nonprofit, BitBean's personalized approach ensures your software will drive efficiency and success. This is what BitBean is. They are innovative technology meeting your unique business needs, helping you slay your giants just like David did. Let BitBean empower your mission and propel your company forward. And now, back to this week's episode.
For someone who doesn't know, what's it like being, could you go through it? What's it like being on dialysis?
It's very annoying. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I go to dialysis. I do the first shift of dialysis. At 5 a.m., I get on the machine. 5:30, I get on the machine. It's 3 hours. It's very annoying. You have a kidney, you're millionaire. Those are the facts. You go to the bathroom every day. Bless the Lord Almighty. We say in a Asher Yitzhar, that if, God forbid, nistamu nikovim nikovim, God forbid, God blocks you to go to the bathroom, it's bad. People just don't know how blessed they are. They're going to the bathroom. What's the bathroom? 30 seconds. You're in the bathroom. I'm hoping to go again to the bathroom. 7 years can't go number 1 to the bathroom. Only number 2. It's very annoying. And it's annoying because not only you suffer not going to the bathroom, the blood pressure constantly is annoying. You have dizziness and headaches all day and other stuff that very much annoy you. Your hands and feet are constantly being poked with needles.
I mean, people listening can't see it, but
I'm on dialysis. As you can see, my fistula on the hands. I just got off dialysis. It's very annoying when nurses poke you and the needles are not little needles, the big humongous needles. And they poke, they hurt, they very much annoy people. And you cannot run away from dialysis because the person who runs away from dialysis, he dies. Mm-hmm. A person who doesn't do 3 days dialysis, he's dead. The potassium in the heart will kill him.
I want to talk about, your current life and what you're up to. But before then, as you were growing up, were there any supportive rabbeim or teachers?
I did have a supportive rabbeim. I had in Migdash Melech Rabbi Shalom. I don't know where he is today, but yes, he was very supporting. He came a lot to the house to support me and give me encouragement. Yes, other rabbeim in my life not so much gave me encouragement because I don't think they knew how to deal with this problem in their class.
Right.
Then again, to catch a relationship with a rabbi, it's very unique. You want to make sure that you have a relationship with a person who you could trust, that he's not going to take advantage of a situation. Rebbeim, you have to be careful. He's a Rebbe on one side, and then again, he's not your father and mother. You want to keep your private life for yourself.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
You don't want to mix up two together because it's not a good relationship.
Right, yeah. A Rebbe is a Rebbe, and a father and a mother are a father and a mother. Is there a story about you getting a kidney on a Shabbos or needing to fly somewhere on Shabbos?
Yes, so on Shabbat, one time as a kid, my blood pressure jumped very high. And I was sitting on the couch and it was very bad. And Hatzalah came to my house and they told my parents very fast, we have to get him to the hospital. He won't make it very fast. So the Coast Guard, we went to Floyd Benefield and they flew me to Rochester Hospital from Floyd Benefield on Shabbat. Yes, they did it very fast because the blood pressure was getting out of control and they knew they couldn't control the blood pressure. It would be very bad. He would probably, I would probably not be dead, but I would be out of commission, as we say.
Wow. So what do you do typically? Like, what's your day to day when you are, able to go out and about?
So on a normal day, I get up in the morning, I go to my dialysis, and then I do 3 hours dialysis, and then I just try to go to work, whatever work I can find on the street. It's not easy to find work when you're disabled because, again, you have to find people who work with you. As bosses who have hired me in the past, they knew they had to work with my disability. Whether it's dialysis, whether it's a kidney transplant, you have to find people who are willing to work with you. You can't just walk into a job and start working and getting paid. It's a lie. As a disabled person, you have to find people that can work with you.
It's just such a like your disability alone is probably so complicated. Then to add in that layer of
so if you could get up and go to work, as we say, you have multiple things in your ability. Mm-hmm. But again, if you're disabled, you have more disability. You have to find a job and co-workers that will tolerate your ability, because one day you come to work, the next day you can't come. I don't understand why you can't come. People who are not sick and are healthy, they cannot understand the sick. I understand. I'm a healthy man. I go to work every day. I get up. I don't have to think, how am I going to survive? People that are sick, they have to challenge life much harder in a variety of ways that the healthy don't understand.
As you get older, do you think the Orthodox community is being more thoughtful when it comes to people who have disabilities?
I think that the most Orthodox communities around America and around the world are very knowledgeable that disabled kids and disabled men and women, you have to give them more attention. In my days in the 80s, it wasn't so knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. But I know today in the yeshivas, the rebbeim, the mehanalim, and if you go to camp, they ask on the paperwork if your child is disabled. And if he's disabled, you take extra, quote unquote, minutes and hours to understand what his disability, not to, either hurt his feeling or hurt the parents' feeling that they got stuck with that child.
Why haven't you publicly said over your story before?
For many years, it took me time myself to understand myself. What do I want to give over to the world? And it's really my job. Well, it's not my job to give over the message that I'm a sick man and, what to give over. Because when you speak to the public, you have to be careful to know what message you want to give over. But if you don't know what you want to give over, you don't want to look like an idiot, like a crazy guy on CNN. People who have a special, unique ability, you want to give over the best message you could. If you don't, you missed your opportunity. And if you missed your opportunity, you missed also the message. After all, people want to learn from you something. But at the end of the day, what's the message you want to give over?
I think you're ripe for going to, summer's coming up, but like going to camps, going to yeshivas.
I never went to camp in my life. I went to day camp when I was a small kid. I went to Stone day camp, but that's about it. I couldn't go to camp because of my disability.
Maybe it's the reverse. You couldn't go as a child, but as an adult, you could go and give chizuk to people.
Yes, maybe what I have to do. Go give kids chizuk who are disabled, tell them life does have better things to offer you.
I think you give them chizuk, but people who aren't the same, I'm getting tremendous chizuk just talking to you, and there's very little fluff with you. I speak to a lot of people. There's like, you're very direct, and you have a clear message, and I think you're...
Yeah, people need to fight life every day, and they need to understand they're not going to get an easy ride in this world. You're not getting a free ride, and you're not getting an easy ride in this world. You came down to this world for a purpose. What's the purpose? Either you're going to be smart and figure it out in life, or you're going to be dumb and clock 70 years in this world. The more having a day, what you do. You're going to tell everybody, I know what I did 70 years. What did you do 70 years? You bought 50 houses, but you're not taking your houses with you to the grave. You learned 50 blocks of Gemara, so you accomplished more, right? So in the end of the day, what did you do in life? What am I going to do in life? I hope my message will go out to tell people, fight life every day, whatever God throws on you. Take it and challenge it and feel accomplished that, I'm unique in my way, that I got my challenge.
Wow, that's great.
After all, every person is unique. Nobody is the same. Nobody's copy and paste. It's not a copy machine. Everybody's different. One guy grows in America. One guy grows in Israel. One guy grows in Australia. And then you're unique in your life, and you build your life and the best that you could do. As a person, I try to do the best that I could.
What's the closest encounter you've had to death?
I meet Malach HaMavet 5 times a day. I meet him face to face.
Do you have any, like some people have like these?
When I was in my Maimonides and had a septic shock, I was 23 days in ICU in the 7th floor in my Maimonides. I met him over there almost every day, even though I was sedated. And I meet him 5 times a year.
Hold on, I'm asking. Do you? Some people like have stories of like going to the other side, coming back, reporting, seeing stuff.
Yeah,
do you have those?
Yeah, when I was in my Maimonides for 23 days, yeah, I've seen the light, the white light that people claim they see.
Hold on, take us through it. Take us through that experience. I'm very curious.
Basically, I had a catheter in my chest for dialysis. And I got infected. And as I got infected, one of my nieces found me on the 2nd floor next to the bathroom on the floor. And I was blue and pale, and she didn't know what it means. So my brother, who lives with me in the house downstairs, ran upstairs, and he told me, niece, call Hatzalah. He's dead probably. He's not even alive. And they quickly came Hatzalah. I heard from my neighbors later, almost 20 guys came to the house. And they quickly brought me out, and they were debating if to take me even to Manhattan Hospital, Columbia, or Cornell, or I wouldn't even make it. So I have a brother who works in Hatzalah. He came down, and they explained to him that we have to take him to Maimonides. He'll never make it to Manhattan. And that's when I was transferred to Maimonides Hospital. And I spent with it 23 days to recover from the septic shock that I had from the heart. In the 23 days, I was intubated with all the machines to keep me alive. And my parents were not in the United States. They were in Israel. So one of my brothers called my parents in Israel, and they told me, you have to come back to the United States if you want to see Yechiel before he passes away. And they said, no problem, we'll come right away back from Israel. We're in Israel for family simcha. And then they came back quickly, and they came back. I was brought in on a Monday morning into Maimonides. And by Friday morning, they were already next to my bed. And a couple of days later, after Friday, I got up from the hospital. I walked out. But 23 days I spent in the ICU in the 7th floor in Maimonides. That's when I saw the light. It's not the only time. I've seen the light several times.
Please describe what this light is. So it's a white light. It's a yellow light.
It's a white light. You basically, you feel you're above the body. You surface above the body. And you basically see how people are around you. You cannot talk to them. You cannot interact with them. but your body, your soul or your neshama leaves the body for a period of time and then it comes back.
Did you speak to like people who were dead, Malachim, Hashem?
No.
I guess that's...
No.
We'll know after 120 with that one.
After 120, we'll know, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back to a riveting moment in this week's episode with Yechiel. But first, step up your style game with Twillory's air suit. The suit everyone's talking about. If you've seen how many guys at shul are wearing it, you know why it's a must-have. Every Jewish guy this past week came over to me in shul. Well, they're all Jewish because we're in shul. They are impressed by how good the fit was and how well the air suit breathes. The air suit is more than just stylish. It's practical and so comfortable. It's perfect for the long hours at shul or any event, especially now summer coming up. You're out at an outdoor kiddush. You don't want to be sweating away in those heavy suits. The best part is it's well priced, so you're getting incredible value for your money. And because I love sharing our great finds with our podcast listeners, you're going to get an exclusive $18 off your first Twillory purchase with the code INSPIRE at Twillory.com. Guys, have you been listening to this and not used the code yet? Go ahead and use it. Don't miss out on the suit that's turning heads and starting to be the next suit trend. Experience the comfort, fit, and breathability of the Twillory air suit. Trust me, you'll feel the difference and everyone will notice. Grab yours today and join the growing numbers of guys who've already made the switch. Go to Twillory.com. Of course, use the code word INSPIRE. Now, back to this week's episode.
What keeps you going? Like, why? I'll be very like, why not give up? Like, it seems so difficult to make it.
Life is very difficult, but there are good stuff in life that I'm not willing to give up it so fast.
Like what? What are the parts of life?
I love learning the Marot Nevim Tovim, and it keeps me going because I see the knowledge that the Torah has. It's amazing. You know, if you learn Torah correctly and you acquire it the right way, you'll be amazed that life will offer you more stuff. And at the end of the day, if we're Jews and we believe in the Torah and we live, why not spend time learning in Torah and understanding what God really wants? Look, the Torah has a lot of things. If you're a smart person, you'll pick it up and you'll enjoy it. And when the Torah says, Torah spicho malfei zor v'kesef, those who learn Torah the right way will tell you it's more than gold and silver. It has more benefits than most what we're looking for life. People think money and property and other necessities like that has a lot of value. But if you learn Torah the right way, you'll see the value behind it. You'll start appreciating. You'll notice there's more to life than, a couple dollars or a couple diamonds that you're wearing or a couple buildings you own, because that has no value. And then today, the satisfaction of a person is his fulfillment to get up in the morning and make his creator happy, just like a kid tries to make his father and mother happy.
What's and we could cut this out if you don't want to hear this. Like, what's dating been like for you?
Horrible. Very bad. I dated several girls in my life, and a girl once asked me on a date, "You're disabled, how are you going to function at home?" I said, "That's none of your business. In the end of the day, it's my business. If the girl will like me for who I am, I'm going to do the best that I can to do what I have to." But after all, I've seen girls more disabled than me that run a home. I've seen girls in worse shape than me. And in the end of the day, they also try to do the best they can. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. You try to get up in the morning and try to function in society. If God gave you the ability to get married and you have a wife and kids, or you have the opposite, a husband and kids, hold on to it. It's worth millions. If you're going to understand the value of a wife and kids, then it's important for you, just like it's important for you to understand the value of go to work. And you understand you have to go to work. Everybody has values. If you feel it's important for you to get married and you want it, and go out there and get married, and go out there and try to do the best you can. Because after all, you all try to do. There's no difference between marriage to a guy who's trying to hold down a job.
Mm-hmm. I hear that. What's the biggest struggle for you in your life?
Oh, I would say one of its struggles is people to understand me. I think people have a hard time to understand me. I don't blame them. They're not in my shoes. It's very hard to understand disabled people.
It's so I'm cutting you off and I want you to continue, but like I had this conversation in Camp Simcha's special and I interviewed 4 awesome girls and that's what one of them, I forgot which one said it, but that's what she said. She said, worse than my disability, and she has a bunch of disabilities. She's like, worse than that is how people treat me. And like, that's way more worse than the actual disability that comes with that.
That's right. She has a right point. She's right what she's saying, because people tend to look at disability people with a problem and they don't respect them like the normal people, which is considered very bad because we want to believe, we want to respect everybody for who he is. After all, right? As a human, you want people to respect you for who you are. I don't know who you are. You could be tomorrow a regular guy off the street, or you could be the most disabled person. But disabled people always feel challenged that society doesn't accept them for who they are. And after all, they didn't do anything wrong. After all, they're trying to civilize in society and explain society, accept me for who I am. I didn't do anything wrong that I was born sick. Any disabled person will tell anybody, whether you're a boy or girl, accept me for who I am. Because it's easier, we as society, we tend to accept normal people for who they are because we don't see any problem that we have to challenge with them.
I heard that you might not like this, that you're secretly involved sometimes with a lot of chesed that people don't know about.
Yes,
and
I do chesed.
Like help, like fixing broken roads and.
Yes, I do that sometimes. If I would see a pothole on the street or I see a portion of the road in New York City not fixed, yes, I would spend time in New York City either on the phone or writing letters to the Department of Transportation. Yes, after all, why should our money go overseas to other countries when we could, when we need it right here?
It's one of those things that I think everyone who drives over a pothole is like, oh, it's so annoying. Someone should do something about it. You're the, I don't know, the most like active, motivated person. Like you see a problem, you try to fix it.
Yeah, because my whole life I'm challenging problems and I stop my life to fix it or I try to fix it, and it's important. Because after all, people, at the end of the day, if they don't take a couple minutes to fix their problem, it's their problem. Nobody's going to fix it for them. So if you see a pothole in your street, or you see it on the road, or you see a BQ or an FDR not fixed, if you're not going to pick up the phone, imenanili mili, right? That's what Pirkei Avot says. If I won't do it, who's going to do it? I'm going to try the next. I'm going to trust the next idiot who's going to pass over the pothole and said, can't we find an idiot to get up and fix it?
Is there a story that either happened to you in your life or maybe that you heard that gives you a lot of chizuk, gives you a lot of strength?
The most people who give me chizuk in my life are my parents. They get up in the morning and encourage me to go out there and face life the way it is. And my parents are doing a very good job to keep me going. After all, they're very motivated. They're very good speakers. They're very good challengers. But at the end of the day, this is what motivates me. After all, I get up in the morning and I get up, and my parents every day encourage me, get up and face reality, because it's not your fault what you did. Because they also tell me in life, you don't know which surprises come towards you. And in life, people have surprises. Surprises come in a variety of ways. You meet variety of people, you get variety of prizes that you don't know in life that could happen.
If there's one person from history, could be someone who passed away 30 years ago, it could be Adam. Who's one person you'd want to sit with for an hour?
Shlomo Melech.
Why Shlomo?
Because after reading his 3 books of Shir Hashirim, Kodesh, and Mishlei, I was inspired by the man. The man was really smart, and so it's to sit down with a smart person.
What would you talk to Shlomo Melech about?
I would try to understand the $1 million question. I want to understand knowledge. After all, he was the smartest man on the planet. I would want to sit down with a smart person and understand what else the world has to offer that we don't understand in your books.
Out of the 613 mitzvahs, do you have one particular mitzvah that speaks to you a little more?
Anochi Hashem Elokecha, the first Aseret Dibrot, it explains a lot about what the Torah says to remind the person that this is what it is. You have to understand you're human and I'm God. And I think most people don't sit down in life and not try to understand what that statement is. You have to sit down and understand you're human. You're only going to be here 70 years, 80 years. As the Pasuk says, Yemei Shnatenu Shivim Shana V'im Berobot Shmonim Shana. Beyond that, you're here very short time. So try to absorb knowledge to understand what is the purpose of life. And I think most people don't stop in life to look at the Aseret Dibrot and see what exactly is there.
What age would you say was the hardest for you?
It's very hard to put an age on a hardship of a life because hardship comes in a variety of ways and variety of situations with your heart. Whether you're sitting in a hospital connected to machines or whether you're waiting for society to accept you for who you are. So it's a hardship. Everything is a hardship. You get up in the morning and you have to face life for what it is. Whether you're trying to get a girl to like you for who you are, whether Rebbe doesn't understand you, that you're a little bit slow, maybe explain them again the Gemara.
Was there a shift from you going from feeling maybe misunderstood?
My whole life I'm misunderstood. I know it for a fact. My whole life.
But hold on. But there was a. Yeah, why am I interrupting? Go on. Sorry.
I'm just telling you, I'm misunderstood most of my life because people cannot understand me because they're not in my shoes. Mm-hmm. So they don't understand that it's hard to walk. It's hard to talk sometimes. It's hard to explain in person. You're sitting on dialysis and your blood pressure is spiking 200 or over 180 and you cannot right now sit at the table because you have to go lay down and you have to stop what you're doing in life. Whether it's work, whether you're sitting and learning in with medrash or whatever you're doing, you find out very fast in life as a disabled person, society doesn't accept you like everybody else. And you didn't do anything wrong, but you're not willing to accept it that you didn't do anything wrong. Because after all, you want to blame somebody. We as civilization, we love to blame people. But what will you do when you can't blame anybody? And to blame yourself, you don't want to blame yourself.
So that shift, I mean, not how people saw you, how you went through life. Because right now, to me, you're very accepting and confident with what's going on. Clearly, it's not easy, but you've accepted it. Was there a shift from kind of fighting and questioning and to that point of being, this is how it is?
Yes. At some point, I was struggling in life. Do I accept my situation or do I continue questioning life? But at some point, I accepted myself for who I am.
Did that come from something? Was it a buildup? What made you get to that point?
It was a buildup and it was a lot of research for myself to accept myself for who I am. It takes time. It takes time to develop your confidence in yourself and to believe this is who I am and nobody's going to change me. Nobody can fix me. And this is the best you're going to do for yourself. A lot of it came from my parents encouraging myself that you have to accept yourself for who you are and believe that you came down here for a reason. But it was a lot of motivation over years that my parents installed into me. It didn't come from the street. It came from my parents. If you don't have a loving parents who are willing to challenge with you life, you're not going to make it out there as a disabled person. And my mother always told me, there were other sick kids in the hospital. Their mothers saw right away at birth that they couldn't make it. They left them in the hospital. Where did they end up? I don't know. But my mother didn't leave me in the hospital. They decided to challenge life with me. And life is not easy to challenge with me.
because you don't know when my health collapsed from minute to second. You find yourself sitting in a hospital fighting for life.
It blows me away that was it 2 weeks ago you had a stroke?
Yes. 2 weeks ago, I had a stroke on Shvi Shel Pesach on the table. I had a stroke, and I was sitting at the table eating by the meal, and all of a sudden, I start talking gibberish, and my brother who sits next to me tells me, "You just had a stroke. You're talking gibberish," and I had two sisters. They sit on the table. Both of them are doctors. And they also told me, you just had a stroke. We, as doctors, noticed you had a stroke. I have one sister who's OB/GYN doctor, and I have one sister who's anesthesiologist doctor. And both of them were sitting at the table, and they told me, you had a stroke. We have to take care of it. I didn't call Hatzalah right away because I had to go to dialysis that night at 4 a.m. If I would lose my dialysis. I was scared that there might be a problem in the hospital because not that you wouldn't give me dialysis, they would delay dialysis. And delayed dialysis, it's a problem because people on dialysis don't move the hours because in a certain way you want to have consistency because you don't want to play with the dialysis. People who play with dialysis die very fast. Either they move the hours or they don't do full hours. They tend to hurt themselves. I didn't want to hurt myself more than what I had. So I waited a day, and after a day, when it was regular day, I called Hatzalah, and they came down and they took me to Cornell Hospital.
It's wild to me that you're
this is regular life for
I know.
me.
It's like people cancel the interviews because oh, sorry, I had the flu. You're like, oh, sorry, there was a stroke, so it's a little delayed.
Yeah, but this is regular life. This is my struggle every day that I see doctors. I live with them. It's a hospital has always been my second home. And I always understood in my brain that, it took me a time to understand that, I may be in the morning in my bed, and in the afternoon I may be in the hospital fighting for my life. It takes a while to accept such a life. You just don't get up in the morning and accept yourself for who you are and what you are.
I think your message is so clear for you in your life because of how obvious your challenges are, but it's such a good lesson for anyone going through any challenge, anything of life has challenges, and when you approach it with an acceptance and that emunah and betachon.
That's half of the problem you solved already. That if you accept life and you accept that God gave you this life and you have to challenge it, you have it 50% easier. Instead of getting up and being miserable inside yourself as a person and doubting yourself, am I doing right, am I doing wrong, even though you are not in control. People don't know they're not in control. They think I'm in control in my life. You're not. How many people got up in the morning and they go to work in the morning, they get into a car, they have an accident in the afternoon. You didn't do anything. You didn't plan it. It's not on your books of work today. So how did they get into an accident? And then other people, they get up in the morning and they have a horrible morning, and then in the afternoon, they have an amazing afternoon. Life has its up and down. You have to challenge life, and you have to accept your life for who you are and what you are. And the only person who's going to accept life for who it is you yourself for who you are. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody's going to live life for you. You have to live life for you, for who you are and what you are. And you're going to get up every morning and you're going to get challenged by the man upstairs. We say every day, in Shachrit Mincha Mayim, Moidim anachnu loch, al nisecha val niflosecha. Al nisecha on your challenges, val niflosecha, the ability you give me to challenge the day, because some people don't make it that day. You're getting up every day and you're going to have challenges, whether you're going to like it or not, in variety of ways and variety of meanings. One guy has parnasah problems, that he's challenging. One guy has a wife at home that he has to challenge, and one guy has a kid at home he has to challenge. And one guy has to challenge multiple things, not only his health, his job, his work, his wife, and plus he has to tolerate his kids.
Last question I have for you is, what advice would you give to your 10-year-old self? And also, I don't know, I'm sure there's going to be kids listening to this. I'm sure there's going to be adults listening to this. What advice do you have for them? It might be the same message, but I'm curious about your 10-year-old self.
10-year-old kid needs to understand that life will be very complicated. And you have to understand you have a lot of years ahead of you, and you have to understand you have to put time to learn in life many things. And you cannot get away from the challenge. Whether you're a kid in a cheder or you're a kid in a school, you cannot get up every day and challenge your life. Just like a guy gets up every day and challenges life in a variety of ways. But in the end of the day, if you're not going to challenge life, you will suffer. You will suffer. Not your mom, not your dad, not going to school. That you're going to get up every day and go and do what you have to. Nobody is going to take away your life, so you're stuck with the life. Unless one day in Shemaim they decide to remove you for whatever the reason is. Otherwise, you have to get up and you have to face life with reality. Whether it's a cheder, whether you have to challenge your kids in class, whether you're being bullied, you have to face reality. And the more you're going to be educated and you're going to learn in life how to deal life, the more life will be easy for you. The more you're not going to go out there as a 10-year-old kid and learn from your mistakes, life will be harder for you.
That's very incredible. But I just realized another question I wanted to ask you. You touched upon, like let's say a kid sees you in a supermarket now and says, something silly, that they're not trying to be, mean about it, but they just don't know. That's now. When you were younger, were you bullied?
I was very much bullied when I was a kid. I was bullied, but I overcome my bulliness. As you become an adult, you could express yourself better, and then people try to understand you better because the brain is more developed. But as a kid, you get bullied a lot because I wasn't always good in basketball. I was just a short guy. I never made it to the team, whatever challenges it was, as you bullied you. I wasn't allowed in class also because you're constantly between hospitals. Then again, nobody's giving you enough ability to understand what's your needs. It's a problem. The achievers and schools in the Jewish world need to understand disabled kids need extra attention, and they need extra as we say, ability to challenge them, and they're very challenging themselves. And as a disabled person, my whole life, I'm challenging society to accept me for who I am. Certain people accept me very fast, and certain people will not accept me for who I am. There's nothing I can do.
Well, I accept you, and I think our audience is going to accept you
Thank
also.
you.
And Yechiel, I just want to tell you, you are an inspiration for the nation.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends, for listening or watching. And if you got this far, please write the word in the comments, hero, because that's who Yechiel is. Before I finish off with my powerful point, please visit thepeydgroup.com. That's PEYD, so you can start collecting your cash for your points. Go ahead and give BitBean a call so your company can be victorious in all your business endeavors, and use code INSPIRE at Twillory for $18 off your airsuit. Now, Yechiel Bruck is a true inspiration and a hero in every sense. If I had to characterize inspiration for the nation into an image, I would use Yechiel's face. Despite facing incredible adversity, 4 kidney transplants, 2 heart attacks, 2 mini strokes, and a septic shock, his unyielding will to live a happy and fulfilling life never wavers. Yechiel's story reminds me and all of us that true heroism isn't found in fame or big names. It's in the resilience and courage of everyday people. It's the people you walk by on the street, quietly overcoming their challenges, who are the real giborim, the real mighty ones. Yechiel embodies this spirit, showing us that no matter the obstacles, the human spirit can triumph. His journey is a powerful testament to strength, perseverance, and the unwavering pursuit of happiness. Yechiel, we love you. Thank you all for watching this week's episode. Share it with someone who will get chizuk, strength from it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. I don't thank you all enough. Thank you. I really appreciate you watching this and coming on this awesome journey that I'm on, that I feel like we're on together. We're on like this big boat and we're getting to meet some awesome people, go to cool places. And it's just the start. We have so many more awesome interviews coming up. Remember, inspiration is everywhere. L'chaim.
Living L'chaim.